Think your HOA or condo fees cover everything? Think again. Most buyers get blindsided by unexpected costs, hidden fees, skyrocketing assessments, and financial red flags buried deep in the fine print. Before you buy, you need to know these key financial considerations. Let's break it down.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We are continuing to explore this whole world of condo and HOA homeownership.
Yeah, it's quite a world.
It is, it is. And that time around, we're going to walk through the actual purchasing process.
Although the exciting part.
The exciting part, yeah, but also can be a little bit daunting, right?
Oh, for sure.
So we're going to try to make it as clear as possible. And our guide here, it lays out like a roadmap.
Roadmap to homeownership.
Exactly. And it all starts with, getting pre-approved for a mortgage or securing that proof of funds.
That's step one, right? It's like showing up to a marathon with your running shoes already laced up.
I like that analogy.
You got to be prepared. You got to be ready to go.
Yeah. Having that pre-approval or proof of funds, it shows the sellers that you're serious.
Exactly.
You're ready to make a move.
You're not messing around.
So once you've got your finances all lined up, then what?
Then you work with your trusty real estate agent to submit an offer to the seller.
Okay.
That's where the fun begins. The negotiation dance.
The negotiation dance.
And remember, it's not just about the price. You can negotiate other things too, like closing costs, contingencies,
right?
Maybe even specific repairs or upgrades that you want the seller to take care of.
This is where having a good real estate agent is really key, right?
Absolutely. A good agent is like your advocate, your guide through this whole process.
Yeah.
They'll help you craft a strong offer that stands out.
Now, I know we talked about the HOA documents before.
Oh, yes, those important documents.
But the guide, really emphasizes this as a crucial step.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of finding that perfect place. The one with the amazing kitchen and the backyard oasis.
Right.
But those documents, they can reveal a lot of important details.
So don't skim them.
Don't skim. Read them carefully. Think of them like the fine print of a contract.
That's a good way to put it.
You'll find all the nitty-gritty details about the rules, the regulations, the financial history of the HOA or the condo association.
And if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all the legal jargon.
Yeah, it can be a lot.
It's a good idea to have a real estate attorney take a look too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Having an expert on your side is never a bad thing.
I had a client once who almost bought a condo without realizing that the parking spot wasn't included.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it turned into a major headache.
I bet.
So it's definitely better to be safe than sorry.
Always. Reviewing those documents thoroughly helps you avoid those unpleasant surprises down the line.
Okay, so you've scrutinized the documents.
Everything looks good.
What happens next?
It's time for the home inspection. This is your chance to bring in a professional inspector, have them take a good look at the property.
So we're not just talking leaky faucets and creaky floorboards here.
No, we're talking about identifying any potential issues that could impact the safety, the value, the overall habitability of the property.
That's important.
It's really important. A good inspection can uncover things you might not even notice, like structural damage, electrical problems.
Oh, yeah.
Even potential hazards like mold or asbestos.
That's scary.
It can be scary, but it's better to know up front, right? It gives you leverage for negotiation, too.
So any tips for our listener on finding a good home inspector?
Look for someone with experience, certifications, a good reputation.
Yeah.
Ask your real estate agent for recommendations, or even ask friends who have recently bought homes.
And during the inspection,
Yeah.
Don't be shy about asking questions.
Ask away. It's your chance to learn as much as you can about the property.
Right. Okay, so home inspection's done. What's the next thing on our home buying checklist? Insurance, of course.
You need to make sure you've got the right coverage.
And it's specific to the property type, right?
Exactly. Condo insurance for a condo unit, homeowner's insurance for an HOA home.
I think people often forget that that's a separate step.
They do. Condo insurance, it usually covers your personal belongings, any damage to the interior of your unit,
Okay.
but the building itself, the common areas, those are covered by the association's master policy.
Okay, so it's a little different.
It is. Homeowner's insurance, on the other hand, that's more comprehensive. It covers your property, liability, the whole 9 yards.
So it's not just about protecting your investment.
It's also about protecting yourself.
In case of, unexpected events.
Exactly. And did you know that some insurance policies might not cover certain risks that are specific to condo or HOA living,
Really? Like what?
like water damage from a burst pipe in a neighboring unit, for example.
Oh, wow.
It's always a good idea to talk to an insurance professional,
Yeah,
someone who really understands the ins and outs of these types of policies.
that's a good point. All right, so you've got your finances in order.
Yep.
Your offer's been accepted. You've reviewed the documents, done the inspection, secured your insurance.
We're almost there.
What's left?
The final step. Closing?
Closing day.
This is where you work with a title company, the lender,
Okay.
to finalize everything, get all the paperwork signed, and officially transfer ownership of the property.
That sounds exciting,
It is exciting. It can also be a little overwhelming. There's a lot of paperwork involved.
right?
But don't worry, your real estate agent will be there to guide you through it.
Any tips for making that closing process go smoothly?
Stay organized, review everything carefully before you sign, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Good advice.
And it's always a good idea to do a final walk through the property before closing.
Just to make sure everything's in order.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've gone through the whole purchasing process.
Step by step.
It feels much more manageable now, having broken it down like this.
That's what we're here for, right?
Exactly. So we've covered the purchase process. What are some other important aspects of condo and HOA living that we should touch on?
Well, one thing that's really important to understand is your rights and responsibilities as a member of the association.
Okay.
Once you become a homeowner in a condo or HOA community, you're automatically a member.
Right.
And that comes with certain rights, like voting on association matters.
Okay.
But it also comes with responsibilities like paying your monthly dues.
Right.
And, of course, following those community rules.
It's like joining a club, right?
Exactly. It's got its own set of bylaws, its own expectations.
Be a good member.
Be a good member, stay informed, be engaged, be respectful of your fellow community members.
And stay up to date on all those communications from the association.
Absolutely. Go to the meetings, voice your concerns, offer your suggestions.
It's your community.
It's your community. You have a voice.
That sense of community, that's a big draw for a lot of people.
It is. It's one of the reasons people choose condo or HOA living.
What are some other advantages?
Well, convenience is a big one.
Convenient.
Condos, they offer that low-maintenance lifestyle.
Right.
You don't have to worry about yard work, snow shoveling, all that exterior upkeep.
It's the lock and leave dream.
Exactly. You're trading some control over your property for the convenience of having someone else handle those chores.
And then there are the amenities.
Oh, the amenities. Condos often have a wider array of amenities compared to HOAs.
Right, like pools, gyms, clubhouses.
Even concierge services in some cases.
It's like resort-style living.
It can be, but of course there are always two sides to every story.
Right, there's no such thing as a perfect situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are some of the potential drawbacks of condo living that we should mention?
Yeah, what should our listener be aware of?
Well, for some people, the limited control over your property can be a deal breaker.
Okay, yeah.
You're bound by those rules and regulations we talked about earlier.
Right,
And those can sometimes feel restrictive.
for sure.
Hmm.
So give us some examples of those restrictions.
You might face limitations on renovations, pet ownership, noise levels,
Okay.
even seemingly small things like the type of grill you can use on your balcony.
Oh, wow.
Can be quite specific.
So you really need to make sure you're comfortable with those limitations before you buy in.
Absolutely.
Another thing that comes to mind is, the close proximity to neighbors.
That's a big one. For some people, it's a plus.
Yeah.
For others, it's a definite minus.
Yeah, it depends on your personality.
Exactly. Shared walls and common areas, they can create a sense of community,
Right.
but they also mean less privacy.
Yeah.
And there's a higher chance of noise complaints or, just personality clashes with your neighbors.
Oh, for sure. And then there's the cost factor, right? Condo fees can be pretty steep.
They can be, especially in those buildings with all the fancy amenities or those located in really desirable areas.
Right, right. So it's definitely something to consider carefully.
Absolutely. Weigh those fees against the benefits they provide.
It's all about finding that balance.
Balance is key.
Okay, so let's switch gears and talk about HOAs. What are some of the big advantages that draw people to this type of ownership?
Well, one of the biggest is greater autonomy over your property.
Okay.
You typically have more freedom to customize your home.
Within those guidelines, of course.
Within the guidelines, yes.
Yeah.
But still, more freedom than a condo,
Yeah.
and you often have more privacy and outdoor space.
That's a big plus. So HOAs are often a good fit for families with kids,
Definitely.
pet owners, anyone who enjoys gardening or just having some space to themselves.
Absolutely.
And the HOA dues, those are usually lower than condo fees, right?
They are. That can be a big financial advantage.
For sure. But just like with condos, HOAs have their downsides too.
They do. There's no perfect system.
Right. So what are some things that our listeners should really think carefully about when it comes to HOAs?
Well, one potential downside is the responsibility for maintaining your own property.
Oh, yeah.
You're in charge of repairs, lawn care, landscaping, snow removal, all of it.
That can be time consuming.
It can be, and costly too.
Right.
You always have to be prepared for those unexpected expenses, like a new roof or a broken appliance.
It's a good idea to have a little cushion in your budget for those things.
Absolutely.
And even with HOAs, you've still got those rules and regulations to follow, right?
Oh, definitely. You might have more freedom than a condo, but there are still limits on things like paint colors, fencing,
Yeah.
even the types of vehicles you can park in your driveway.
Really?
Yeah. Those rules are there to maintain a certain aesthetic, a certain standard for the community.
So finding a community whose rules align with your personal preferences, that's important.
Very important. You want to feel comfortable and in control.
As we've seen, both condos and HOAs have their pros and cons,
It's all about weighing the options.
and figuring out which one is the best fit for your lifestyle.
Exactly. Our guide poses a great question that I think sums it up perfectly.
Okay, what is it?
Now that you've dipped your toes into this whole world of condos and HOAs,
Right.
what aspects of community living matter most to you?
That's a great question for our listeners to ponder.
It is. Is it the low-maintenance lifestyle, the convenience of a condo?
Or is it the autonomy and the privacy of an HOA?
Maybe it's the social connections, the amenities, or perhaps it's the peace of mind that comes with shared responsibility.
Right, right. It's all about finding a place that not only meets your practical needs,
But also your emotional needs,
exactly,
That-
but also resonates with your values,
your aspirations.
your vision for the future.
We've given you a lot to think about during this deep dive,
We have. We've really gone deep.
but we hope it helps.
Yeah, we hope this information empowers you to make informed decisions as you embark on your homeownership journey.
Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Being well-informed is your best tool for finding a place that truly feels like home,
And don't forget, you can always come back and listen to this deep dive again.
as many times as you need.
Or share it with your friends who are thinking about buying a condo or HOA home.
Spread the knowledge.